Three, two, one.
Hello, I'm Mark Gallagher.
Hi, I'm Mark Gallagher as well. Today we're going to be talking about compound butters. One thing I've discovered as somebody who usually cooked only for special occasions is that the most important thing is not the recipe, but the technique. And that's where my dad comes in.
Okay, we'll talk about compound butters. So I can butter everybody up, I guess. The main thing with compound butters is having soft butter. In the restaurant business, what people would do would be prepare these in a large batch, and they roll it up in saran wrap like a log, and then slice off pieces as they need it. And probably the most famous butter of that compound butter was called the Maitre d'Hotel butter. And that was made up of lemon, parsley, sometimes mustard. It would usually be served on steaks and things on restaurants when it go out. But I'm talking about using soft butter that everybody should have out on a counter to add little quick sauces to whatever it is they're doing. Now, people would say, you leave your butter out on the counter? And I say, yes, I never put it away. It sits out there and when it's go bad. No, it doesn't go bad.
You cover it.
Well, yes, you should cover it for flavors or dropping things in it. And the old antique shops, you see a lot of those little plates, square plates with a little square top that was for butter. And they now have, you can buy online butter bells, they call them, which is like a dome type thing that goes over it. But the idea is it sits out only a stick at a time. And anybody who doesn't use a stick of butter in the course of a week is either not cooking much, doesn't know how to cook, or hates butter. It could be any one of the things. But what it allows you to do is to make a little quick sauce on whatever it is that you're doing. And with the soft butter, you just take a little bit and you mix it in with, for example, I had lamb the other night. I just took a little of the soft butter with Dijon mustard and Worcestershire sauce. And after I sliced it and sat for a while and served, I just put a thing on it and gives you a nice thin coating that is right there. It's a la minute. It's right on the product itself. As a result, you get the flavor, the flavor that you want. And you can do any kind of seasoning with this. The reason the soft butter works, even for normal use, for making toast or scones or whatever else you're spreading butter on, if you're concerned about weight and you have soft butter, you put a nice little thin layer on. If you're not, and you're using cold butter, you got to put a big, huge chunk in order to get it down, break it up to fit on the bread. And you probably
the classic maitre d' butter, Dad, you would usually use with something like steak. If you're doing, like a fish or a chicken, what would you add into your butter?
Well, fish, for example, you could do garlic if it's a strong fish. I wouldn't use garlic with scallops, but shrimp you can do with that. You could put lemon in with fish, dill, almost any kind of herb that you like, if you prefer. Even on vegetables, for example, if you have a seasoned butter, and the whole thing with these butters are like FIFO, flavor in, flavor out. Whatever you put in them. But you say you take string beans, for example, and you want to have a little lemon rosemary taste or a lemon thyme taste. Fine, just toss them in this butter again. And you can make up any kind of combinations that you want. I have a friend of mine who has a thing made up. He keeps for steak with blue cheese. Another one he has with horseradish in it. And it can be sun-dried tomatoes. It can be capers. It can really do almost anything you want. It can also be sweet things for with maple syrup mixed in or jams mixed in to spread on pancakes and or scones or English muffins. And again, the soft butter reaches all those little craggy spots on the English muffin. It doesn't mean you totally dismiss cold butter, because cold butter has a great purpose too. For example, when you're making you get through sautéing steak or some other thing in a pan, you get a little bit of a fond at the bottom, whatever it is they call a fond. There's a little burned bits in the sense, hopefully not burned too much that the flavor's ruined, but then you just deglaze the pan with wine or stock or something else to make an instant sauce. But in doing that, when you take it, when you get that, you usually will reduce down the wine or stock to give it a little thickness. Then you take it off the heat and put in 2 knobs of cold butter. And that will sort of gives it a sheen and a richness and a little bit of viscosity if you let it sit for a while. So butter can do an awful lot of things, and there's some bad rumors about butter, but I won't tell you those because you'll probably spread them around.
Oh no! Oh my goodness! All right, so that's compound butter, super versatile. And as my dad points out, if you use the soft, you don't need to use as much unless it's for a specific use, like in deglazing. So the wine we're going to taste today, this is from Yalumba in Southern Australia. This is their Y series, kind of an everyday line of wines, but really well made. I always say, if you know a good producer, even their table wines are going to be of good quality. So this is their Viognier. Viognier is a really interesting grape insofar as it has a lot of body like a Chardonnay because of the alcohol content. And it can be, it's inherently low in acidity, but if you are a good winemaker, you're going to get enough acidity to make a balanced wine. So nice big body, a little creme freshness, and not a lot of butteriness because there's no diacetyl, but a lot of cream and a great accompaniment to spicy and sweet dishes. So cheers to you all. Have a great week. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Dad.
You're welcome. How come you get the better job that I do? I don't get any wine with my butter.
I know. That's you make sure to leave the wine in on the counter too. That way it's nice and warm for you.
There you go.